plays on this pump. I didn't make nice plays, but I didn't stand in front of the train. So basically, my lungs played for me.
Hey, Luke, are you there?
Yo.
Will you be around in about maybe 45 minutes to an hour for maybe a little explanation on how to trade wedges?
Yeah, I think so. Should be.
Did you backtest them, Jules?
Backtest what? The wedges?
Okay, this conversation is over.
Okay.
I must have missed something.
Did you back it like you have a theory that you want to explain, right?
What's your correlation, right? I mean, your correlation.
Natchez learned the new term.
What are your predictions and where are your predictions?
No, Jules, very simple. Did you back test wedges?
Wedges?
Wait, what are you trying to explain to Luke?
No, what I teach, I hold like a coaching course on basic trading stuff, and I was asking Luke if he wouldn't mind giving some insight to the course on his specialty, which is wedges.
Yeah, it's really fun.
The other way around. Okay.
The other day I gave a presentation on DCA, right, Jules?
Nice.
Correctamundo, yes.
Never mind. I was just. I thought you were trying to explain a methodology to Luke. And I was wondering if he actually backtested it.
Yeah, no, that you caught a whole different conversation in your head than the one in my head.
I now understand. You're doing a course and you want Luke to come ahead and present his way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. But did Luke backtest his way?
Nope.
So you never once thought that maybe like a woman could do something down there better than a man could?
Who has that? That's I don't even remember saying that.
The archive is open. It's quite interesting. I have more losing days than winning days. But for every $1.50 I lose on a trade, I make 5.20 on a trade that I win. So I guess that's why the profit factor is huge.
That's not even like that's probably a thing that only a handful of lesbians do. You know that?
Lesbians can't get much more than a handful.
Jules, can I come teach at your course?
What's your specialty?
Argument for no reason.
We can make it happen.
Nothing like rubbing it in the face of fresh meat in this market.
Give some.
Whoa, you want to rub your meat in what? What fresh face?
So I understand like newcomers and people who are like 1 year and less in this market. But Mitch, as you have been here for a long ass time, what's your excuse for trading this way until today?
Who you asking that?
My mom.
Cool. Tell us what she says.
I asked you, or are you dodging the question?
No, I thought we had a new member named Mitch.
Oh, sorry, you're Malone? Should we call you Malone?
It's matches.
Matches. All right,
Maybe
matches.
that's why I ignore you so much.
You ignore me? Why? What's the reason behind that?
Nothing. You ask me direct questions, and I don't recognize that apparently you're asking me.
Ah,
Huh.
Mario.
Well, my trading has evolved a lot over the last year.
I don't think that's true. Do you have a short or a long open right now? Do you have a position open?
Hey, Jules.
I'm
That's
out
right.
of positions at the moment.
So I'm going to be out of my house. I got to go pick up my daughter. It would be much more instructive if I could share a chart when I'm doing that.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know if we can do it on a different day.
Yeah, no problem. I do these every Monday and Wednesday at 10 California time, so it's the same, whatever half hour is
Okay.
from now.
Yeah. I can definitely do it a different day. I'd like to get something together, I guess, a little bit first too, just a couple of examples, charts, and then also showing just trading the pattern is fine, but you like to have confluence. You're looking for support, resistance, some type of momentum indicator probably as well. That people use different things, but yeah,
You should go off.
I'll be happy to do that
Go off Trump.
sometime very soon.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll hit you, next time, maybe Monday or something. I gotta go take my kid to school. I'll be right back too, though.
Okay, cool.
See ya.
So long.
Yikes, man! Imagine having kids. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're asking just about crypto, or you're asking about the stock market?
I was asking about crypto. No, I had a follow-up question, but since you don't have a position, I cannot ask you then.
Like, do I have a bias and direction right now?
No, about the way you trade. You don't place stop losses, right?
Oh, I absolutely use stop losses at that high leverage that I'm using.
Oh, you do? Okay, that's cool.
That high leverage, I don't on most of my spot trades.
No, spot is not my. I don't care about spot since there isn't liquidation. You can for for all I care, you could hold it to zero. That's your option. That's your belief in the project. That's not trading basically, or at least that's not the trading that I care about, or I discuss. If you believe in the project in spot and you buy some and you hold forever, you do you.
Yeah, right now, my best trade today is Virgin Galactic.
What was your entry conditions and exit and
Conditions? Oh, fuck.
no, just like why did it's basically it's for
A
like
couple
why
years
did you buy
ago, or within the year, it was at like $56, and it was below $2, and it had just bounced off the low at 87, and the bottom that it needs to break to make a head and shoulders play would be, I think, 81. So yeah, I
how
guess I'll get out
how
of
many
entry
how many
alone.
times how many times when you think something is gonna uh
Depends.
have a hold and shoulder head and shoulders play does actually happen? How many times out of 10 times?
On futures, not as often. On spot, pretty damn often.
Uh,
Maybe
is
at
this
least
from the
50% of the
top
time.
of your head based on your previous trading experience?
I can go through and pull some out, but probably 50%
No,
of the time.
yeah, the top of your head, yes. So you rely on your previous experience as a set of rules and a way to trade the future.
I rely on the yearly highs, the yearly lows, the conditions of the market, the fundamentals. For my spot trading, a lot of that shit.
Hmm.
But I mean, I'm invested in a lot of things is the best way to term it because I have a few different air taxi stocks, and that's there's a fucking index for whether or not it's realistic for the companies to do what they say they're going to do. Forget about whether or not they're going to fucking succeed.
Hmm.
So that's kind of scary.
Fuck yeah.
And then there's I don't know, I get in a lot of penny stocks and then I get out when they bump.
All right, are we here?
I'm here.
We got one. Yeah, sorry, I ran a little behind. Had to take my kid to school, and he's always a lagger.
Not not a morning person, is he?
No, I don't think anybody in my family is.
Well, I will be leaving at 11 myself. I gotta take my what is that? Mother-in-law? No, not in-law. Stepmother to get a cataract surgery.
Oh yeah, wow. Best of luck with that.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I've got to do the hold on, get this thing set up for the YouTube. Deppy says he's running behind. I was asking some people to come in and go over some kind of. There's people that I can draw in from other channels that have like expertise in a certain strategy, a certain style of trading, or something like that, and was throwing that out there. I've got some people that are interested in doing something upcoming that they need a little more preparation for, but I'm starting to kind of there's a little bit of buzz going on about these little coaching sessions and stuff. So yeah, hopefully we might we'll start to get some of that something like that going. But anyway, this is not trading, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment only. Do research, do your due diligence on your trades. Don't follow trades just because of something you see on YouTube. I'm not liable for any bad decision you make based off something I do here. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So anyway, I got to get that out of the way on every time we do one of these things, by the way.
Totally get it.
Yeah. I didn't. Okay, so I wanted to again try and figure out a little bit more of what type of strategies were interesting to you, and have a little bit more of a free format. I do have ideas for kind of future I guess courses or future sessions. This one's going to be a kind of I figured we might use it as an opportunity to do a little bit more of a free for all and do a little more technical analysis, and maybe even talk about the trade that I got into yesterday, which is the first trade that I've jumped into in a long time. But particularly because I know that Monday I have my surgery on Monday, so I'm not going to be able to be here on Monday. I probably will be. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to feel like on the next Monday or the next Wednesday, but it's going to be. I'm going to be literally coming out of the hospital the day before, so I probably won't be here on Wednesday either. Plus, it's Thanksgiving and shit and stuff like that, so it's a good kind of opportunity to I guess maybe do a little wrap up of what we've done from start to finish, and then we can start to plan for after the holiday what we're going to do and that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds great. And I've got a couple of things that I wanted to try and start testing myself anyways, and I need some time with it to get it situated in my head and to actually try some things.
Okay, and then this also gives me an opportunity too, because I would really like to introduce you to some people that know bots well, and so that they can give you some insight on how that works, and again, that's going to be something that I just have such minimal expertise on that it'd be nice to grab somebody from one of the other channels, and I know who exactly. There's a couple people that I would go right to just to to explain how their systems and what works for them, and the differences between the different ways of doing it. Because I mean, my understanding of a bot is you can run a bot straight off of TradingView that's working with the APIs of KuCoin or Femex or whatever, and you could just have it running completely separate from the exchange. So meaning you can create a bot on Google Cloud, and it can just log into your Femex account and do your trading for you.
Google Cloud.
Like a Google Cloud services, like you could run a program on the cloud. We could run it from wherever, but you could just build something on what's it called? Why can't I think of that service where people just have their programs there? Anyway.
No, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, point being that is that you can run it from something that's completely independent of the exchange. And then there are services out there that have bots available. I mean, they're just bot services. You give them your API on your exchange, they connect their bots to it, and they have a bunch of preset ones that are all ready to go. That have already been back tested and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Fomex has some bots going on. I haven't had a chance to really look into them yet.
I haven't, other than the trading that I normally do, I have not explored Femex at all, like not even one iota. So you kind of brought up a good point that maybe I should see what else is out there for this thing too.
Well, yeah, like I said, I just moved some money into Fomex, and I'm going to start messing around. I want to get used to the tools, and then I want to see if I can mess with some of the bots later on. But I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to use KuCoin. I've tried it again, but I don't think I'm getting into it.
KuCoin was my exchange of choice because the hold on, he says it's not live on Discord. Let me see what's going on. Well, I don't have my I'll share my chart. He says he can hear us. I don't see him logged in. There, now he's logged in. You there, Duffy?
Yeah, I'm in now.
You have an echo. Well, now I have an echo.
That better?
So just to catch up, so this since I'm having my surgery on Monday, and then and I'll probably not be able to do this on Wednesday either, and it'll be the day before Thanksgiving. So this, I wanted to kind of have, do a little bit of wrap up, have this be kind of a free for all type of deal. But also, go over some live technical analysis, and I can also, I wanted to go over the trade that I got into yesterday, which is the first one that I jumped into in it's been about a month probably, but I don't jump into them very often, and that one that I've been talking about hit. So I wanted to talk about how that went down, and just so you can see, I guess maybe walk you through the process a little bit of how that happens.
Jeffy, well, now I'm echoing too. What the hell?
I hear you guys both okay. Are any of you watching it on YouTube or have it on one of the others? Because that might be the problem too. Got to make sure to mute the YouTube or whatever.
No, I just pulled up your stream on Discord.
Well, before he went live, it was kind of weird. So I would just sign out and sign back in.
All right, is that better?
I don't know. Nope, still echoing. It's not a big deal, but it's just weird.
Do you use a headset or do you use speakers?
I've always used speakers.
So you might want to make sure that your there's like a what's it called, a noise reduction feature within Discord that should be on. That should it just focuses only on the human voice, so some of that echo gets lost.
Yeah, but it's never been a problem till now. It's not happening to you. It's only happening to me and Jeffy.
It's yeah, my voice is delayed and Buddy's voice is delayed, but Eric's voice is perfectly fine. Sorry, Jules.
You broke the rules.
Oh yeah, damn you! I forgot. I didn't even catch it this time. Jesus, that's all right though. It doesn't make. I mean, you're hearing your own voice at all. You shouldn't be hearing your voice at all.
Yeah, that's why it's weird.
Let me see what's doing on the YouTube. All you shouldn't be hearing your voice at all.
Yeah, I have echo cancellation and all that stuff currently enabled. I don't want to sidetrack this though, so if you want to just continue, that's okay.
Oh, so it's funny. I was listening on the YouTube. I couldn't tell what was you and what was YouTube. So sorry if that was. This is interesting and fun, right? Okay. Anyway, I guess first things first. When let's see, how did I enter this trade? Okay, so we have this. That's what happened. If we go all the way out on this ape, let me clean some of this stuff up real quick. Okay, so what happened with ape is this is on the macro, and this is what the other day I had mentioned to you that I had seen this movement, and then I saw this spike right down into the golden area, which typically means that price will slowly kind of.
I'm so
you there?
sorry. I think I know why we're echoing.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Discord to a stream, not your trading view.
Oh, are you for real? That's funny.
I see your Discord.
That's probably okay. See if that's better.
And I'm not echoing anymore. Cool.
Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. My bad. My B.
It's just funny. We're all good though.
Okay, well, this will make a lot better sense if you can actually watch what I'm doing too now. Okay, so the other day I mentioned that we saw that price come up to that level. Then it was right here, and then it price dropped down and touched that golden zone, right, and then went back up and kind of has been playing around ever since. But when I saw that at this point, it very well could be that correction is complete and now we're ready to move up. So I didn't want to miss an opportunity. And I was trying to figure out where price was at the time, which was, I can't remember, it was somewhere in this range. But where can I place a bid that has a stop loss here at the all-time low, where I can afford the risk anywhere in here all the way down to this point right here, and know that when I do get stopped out right here, what I'm going to lose. And in this case, it was somewhere in the $150 range or something like that. And to me, when I saw that if I risk $150 between where we are and the stop loss, but meanwhile have this tremendous upside of where price could potentially reach if this was indeed the bottom, which, by the way, it really does look like it's there's a lot of strong indications outside of just that it did this retracement. That I showed you the technical analysis, and I can redo it again to kind of like emphasize why I do think that there's a strong chance that this is the bottom. But my point being is that considering I do believe that this is a strong chance that this is the bottom, being able to stomach the $150 to get to this point, anywhere from here to here, is worth it to me because the upside is, I don't know, tenfold. I mean, we could, and by the way, you can, there are tools in TradingView that tell you what that upside and downside is. If I were to put a long in, like my long, let me just double check where it is. I think it was like 130 something. Hold on 1 second. My entry was 1.33. So I think that I do have a line in here where my entry is actually. Okay, so there's my entry right here, right? So my stop loss would be down here. And then my, the potential, let's just take any random target of where price could go. Let's just take this to the fib right here from this down pull right here. This is a risk reward ratio of 8.86. So that means that the reward is almost 9 times greater than the risk in this scenario. And this is just a simple target. I mean, I could take this to I mean, if this is an all-time low, the upside is almost infinite. This is nothing compared to where it could go. This is, in this case, it would be a 65-to-1 ratio, risk reward ratio. I think that's how that's calculated. I don't do that very often, so that's my understanding of how that works.
Yeah, but it's also over a considerable amount of time.
It is over a considerable amount of time, yes. But I mean, but then that's the game. The game is patience. This is not going to happen in this will happen over the next who knows 10 years or something like that. But if I put a runner down here at this point, I secure my profit, which I can probably do pretty soon. I'm already almost 500% in the profit on that deal. Let's see. I put. I'll go over how I entered and everything in too. But this is the most important thing. This is the one I want to emphasize the most, because you do have the ability to figure out what you'll lose at this stop loss point, and it's just something that if I can say that over and over and over and over again, that's the most important thing you could possibly learn in the very first part of your trading hobbies or careers or whatever. Understand that, because that's what's going to stop you from that's going to be the difference between you losing a little bit of money that you already know you're prepared to lose, to like getting wrecked and feeling really shitty about it and having to like re-up your bags and stuff. And it's a really terrible thing to go through. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so anyway, now what ended up happening is, so I've put on the macro that you have this little buy zone right here, which really it's increased since we first talked about it. It was originally like, I think when we were talking about it, we were like over here or something, and I kept having to bring it up. Which every time I did that, I was thinking to myself, okay, that just means that this is going to be a little bit harder to stomach, so I might have to adjust this to make sure it's affordable. But eventually, it like I said, it skipped down into there. It kind of it hit that, it checked that box that we had a retracement into the golden area, and that's what made me really want to make sure that I was in on this one somewhere. And I still have a feeling that now that we're up here, we probably will retrace all the way down to here. And yeah, I'm like 500% up right now. But I feel like there's going to be a time where I'm going to have to bear being under it for a little while it does kind of a deeper retracement. Maybe get to the golden zone, or maybe even lower. Hopefully that's it right here. But I also do feel that when it's here, I might take another bite at it and see if I can. It might just be another chance to get it. But obviously, price didn't go down into this area again. So here's what I did. So I saw that we had, this was that new low, but within this structure, a new 5-wave cycle impulse wave developed on the smaller time frame in here. So from this spike up to here, we still got, it still came back, and that's why I put my bids right here. This one was, I put one above the 50 because I thought it would bounce off the 50 first, come up, and then I did another one down here at the golden ratio on the smaller cycle So from, these two lines right here. And this green line is just the average between these two. So as long as it stays above the green line, I'm in profit. As long as it stays below the green line, I'm in a loss or I would be in a loss. Now the buy that I made was they were limit buys. So I did the buys ahead of time, and they were in 2 sets. Let me just check which one they were real quick. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I get the right history here. Okay, one of them was at 1.349. So 1.349 is right here. Okay, so you'll notice that it might be a little bit different than it is on TradingView. Now the reason being is, remember I mentioned that each chart's a little bit different, each exchange is a little bit different. So I actually wanted to be extra careful on this trade, and I did my Fibonacci measurements off of the trading tool within Femex. So within Femex, it probably looked a little bit different. It might have looked something like this. And the one that I bought was at but anyway, needless to say, it was right above the 50, just like a hair above the 50, just like you're seeing my cursor at right now. I did 200 there at 50x. I did another 200 here at 50x. When I made the purchase, when I made the order, I used the stop loss. I put the stop loss in at the time of that I actually input the trade. So it knew it's not going to make the trade without having the stop loss built into it already, and that stop loss was at 0.992 because the absolute lowest low is 0.993. So I just wanted to be just one hair below it. Let me take a little sip real quick. Okay, and then so I made the two trades. This was 200 at 50x. This was 200 at 50x. And then altogether it's 400 at what I said was 0.330, and the stop loss right here. Again, and it tells me ahead of time on Femex that if it does end up at the stop loss, my total loss was about 155 or something like that dollars. So then when I hit the green button and hit the open on it, we were still, this happened when we were in this range right here. And actually, as we were going up here, I kept adjusting it. I was changing my buys every time that there was a new high. I would do it, like, for instance, here, let's zoom in real quick. On this day, my buys were here and here, and when it went to this day, my buys became here and here, and then when it got to this day, I adjusted it, and that's when my buys became here and here. Then it came down and hit both of my buys, and now we've been up ever since. So I made the order probably up here when as soon as we hit this new high, and I adjusted from here to here. That's when I put my order in, because my original order was going to be down here, so I had to cancel those orders. I put my original order here. And just waited. I can't remember what I did, but I got home from dinner or something like that and looked down. I was like, oh, they bought. Very cool. They bought while I was out. It always works out best when you're not paying attention. And where am I at? And I was already kind of in the green, which is kind of a great way to do it. That's the way you try to do it. Now, what I plan to do with this, because I haven't done this yet, is I want to find a place where I can take half my profit, and that way I can set... And that way I can just let the runner go, and I'm already in profit. So it'll help me if it does go down, if it does decrease down to some of those lower levels. It gives me the opportunity to, maybe have some extra, some liquid cash to buy in when it gets down here again. And that is my plan. There's also something else that I'm doing with this, because this is a brand new Femex account, and when I started this account, I only put $100 in it. And so I've decided that I want to try and use this as an opportunity to kind of publicly have like a $100 to question mark kind of challenge. Does that make, I think it'd be fun to do that. And, it's a great way to, I guess, you can kind of see and track a trade over the course of a long time. So I'm going to start to kind of roll out how I want to do that. But I started with $100, and right now I'm already up quite significantly. Let me see where my most recent is. So I started with 100. I think it was $110 is what I started with. Maybe a little less than that. And in my account right now, it says it says 0.0. There's a mistake, obviously. Maybe it logged me out or something. Hold on. What's going on here? Why does it say I have $0 in my account? I know that is not the case.
Oh, that's hilarious.
$157.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, and let's see, just to kind of give you an idea of, like I said, the risk in total is $150 to $160. Now, knowing that I only put $100 into this account, I was also going to say that I will put money, probably up to another $100 into this. If it does get to that level, one, because I want to make sure that I have money that I can add if it does hit that level, and two, because I did, go into this trade full on understanding that, I could lose $150 to $160 on this. So I need to make sure that I'm liquid enough. Otherwise, I'll get liquidated early before it gets there, and I don't want that. I want to make sure that I have the money there to make sure I can see that all the way down. The other thing about doing it this way is when you do trading on high margin, we talked about liquidation. Most of the exchanges give you the opportunity to just trade. Okay, so they have like what's called a cross trade, which means that if you do get close to liquidation, instead of just liquidating you and exiting your trade, it'll actually pull into the account and take another little bit of money from you in order to make sure that you stay in that trade and that you stay liquid. It doesn't add any of the shares, and you absolutely do risk going into the negative more. And this is not something that you would do if you didn't have a stop loss. But the way that I trade, it does use that. Otherwise, I would liquidate very, very high up without losing a whole lot on this. But I go into it knowing that, okay, I want to be able to have a minimal investment, high leverage, understand that, it'll liquidate, it'll draw from my fund a little bit more. But I also know that the most it will draw from it is $150 something, because that's where my stop loss is, and that's what I've already gone into this trade being able to stomach.
I get what you're saying. I just don't understand how, but that's okay.
Yeah. The way that I would do it. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna share the window for my exchange real quick, but I got to pull it out. Hold on one second. Okay, you can see my trading window, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna recreate that trade on Ape. Which, by the way, Ape is a shitcoin, and there's a lot. And I can tell you some of the just the fundamental risks to doing this too, because Yeah, I don't see us hitting a new low, and I see that there's a lot of evidence just in the charts and stuff. But Ape's a shitcoin, and there's a lot of people that you see, I guess since there's not a lot of liquidity, people that have a lot of money are able to manipulate this pretty well. So there's a legitimate risk outside of just the fact that I think that there might be a new low. It's a shitcoin, but at the same time that it's a shitcoin and all of those things are true. I expect it to react with the rest of the market while it's happening, and the rest of the market looks pretty damn bullish. So, for the fact that I was able to buy in when I did, I feel like, I feel like it was a great opportunity for the long haul. But just going into it, Ape is a shitcoin. It's not like I'm buying the fundamentals of this thing at all.
Oh yeah, no, totally agree.
Okay, so we had our all-time low right here, and and so when we were coming up here, what was it that we did? Okay, so we saw it came up with this one right here, came up and touched the golden ratio down here. So this is that same place that I was talking about before. So then we zoom in, and I go into a smaller time frame. And that's where I created this one right here. It ended up changing up to this. And then my purchases were, here, I'll show you my orders were, order history. This one was at 1.312. So 1.312 is right here. Draw a line at 1.312. I just want to draw a line. Okay. Well, it's not like TradingView. I don't know what this is. So 1.312 is basically right here. And maybe this arrow is where I bought it. And then the other buy that I had was at 1.349. 1.349, which is right here, basically right here at right on the golden line. I probably had this a little bit lower, which is probably there, because it was like literally a penny off or something like that. And so that was 400. And so what I'll do then is I will show you. Okay, so over here at 1.349, I come over here and I took my leverage and I maxed it out. Again, this is my strategy. Most people will say this is crazy, but like I said, I know my risk going into it, so I'm perfectly comfortable doing this. This is what I was talking about, cross and isolated. If you pick isolated, then once it liquidates, it's not going to draw from your account anymore, but this trade will just be gone, and it'll have liquidated and it was a loss. If you hit cross, then once if the trade does liquidate, then it'll pull from my total amount, which in this account right now says, let's see if it has a way in here. But I know there's $157 right here. Total equity, $157. So anyway, what was I saying? I forgot where I was at with that. My point being, okay, so my first trade was at 1.349. So I come in here and okay, oh yeah, that's what it was. So I've got my margin. This is cross. I know that I have $157 in my account. 50x. We're not shorting in this case, so we're just leaving this as is. And you hit confirm. It gives you a little warning. You hit confirm. Then you come over here, and in this case, what it does is it uses the last price when you pull it up. But in this case, since we were up here and I was waiting for price to drop to what I said was 1.349, I changed. This is 1.349. 208. Now you can, I just type in how much I wanted to buy in this, but you can also use this. This is a percentage of how much you can buy. So if you, and this is good if you're using like a calculator ahead of time, because if you know going into it that you're always going to use 25% of your equity, and you have it built in, then you can just always hit the 25%, and it could be just as simple as your your assembly line there. But in my case, I just did the 200. Then this is the important part, because then you get to go to the stop loss, and in this case we're entering along. You can enter your total profit or your stop loss. This is your target that you would hit. I left it blank because I do want to manually look at that, be able to monitor it as price increases in order to kind of minimize my risk and make sure that it's going according to my financial plan. And then this is the stop loss. So this is what I was talking about, where you get to kind of see ahead of time how much you're going to lose. So in my case, my stop loss was 0.992. There you go. And from this bid right here, all the way down to that lowest of lows down here, hold on, where is it? Where are we at? Down to this area right here. This is the all-time low, which is at 0.993. I put my stop loss at 0.992, and it says right here, the most that I'll lose on this trade is $71.40.
Okay, I like the configuration. Like, it's all pretty well put together.
Yeah, see, Femex is great. I used to have to do this calculation myself, and that's what I don't know if you remember, a couple weeks ago, I was showing you that calculation on that using the kite calculator. This does it for you. So this makes that easy, because I used to have to do that all the time, or I would guess, because I'm no math whiz, but I've been doing this long enough to know when I can kind of, I know how to not go in too deep, I guess, off the top of my head a little bit. But having this tool right here makes this so much better, because I know that the maximum risk I'm going to have is already built into my trade. When I hit this button right here, I'll do it, and I'll confirm it, because we're not there, and it's a limit order, so I can. Yeah, so it said it. Well, it wouldn't let me do it because of some liquidation type of scenario built into it. But my point being is that having that tool and being able to go into it knowing where your the max loss is everything, because I know. Hold on, I got to go back into my other window. But I know that when we do hit this this level right here, I can afford that loss. So as far as I'm concerned, any trade we can make in here is good, no matter where. I mean, there's better trades. It's better to hit this one instead of this one that I did go off of. This is why I said that this is kind of a little bit of a FOMO deal, because but at the same time it's a calculated FOMO, because I know the worst case scenario, I would have lost less money if I bought in here than here, but it's still to get in on this and have this upside to it. Sorry, that's too big. But have an upside that's really that much more. That's killer. So I know you got to leave Smokey at 11. So I wanted to make sure if you had any questions or anything. Again, we're probably not going to do this next week at all. But yeah, so if you have any questions or anything, now's a good time. I'm going to check the YouTube to see if anybody's got any questions. I have a feeling YouTube probably. Oh no, it is public. Very cool.
Have you ever looked at trade volumes, as in volumes of sale and? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. That's what makes the wicks.
What do you mean? As a strategy? There's a lot of people that trade on I mean everything from moon charts to there's indicators, and there's people that trade just basically off of you can get indicators that work off of like Twitter activity, and people do trade off of that stuff, and it works. People, you can do trades off of. A lot of people follow. So I'm in some Discords, and I get notifications whenever a lot of like a certain amount of money from like. There's Twitter accounts that follow whales, and they know when lots of money are going into exchanges, and when people are taking lots of money out, and it's literally them, because they've been able to trace and follow the actual crypto wallets that are public information. So all of these things are easily trackable. But there's a lot of Twitter is able to kind of compile a lot of that stuff. And it's funny because I get notifications when someone's putting millions of dollars into an exchange on, or if someone's bought or sold a certain amount of money on BTC or on a certain crypto or something.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, and so there's a lot of there's a bunch of different Discord groups out there that have a lot of tools like that are available. And so basically, I don't know what your question was. It sounded like you changed your mind about it, but I trades, some things like that are things that I literally know nothing about, and can find someone that does trade based on stuff like that can teach me and all of us at the same time.
Yeah, well, just to float it out there, because I got to leave in a few minutes. My current idea is working with the RSI. So when you're doing averages, the newest number has the least weight. But in order to kind of correct that, or maybe not correct, but to give the new numbers more weight, I was thinking about mixing the day, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour, and maybe even the minute, giving them all their own values, and then mixing those into a different type of metric.
So you can do that, but make sure that it's not already done. I mentioned the other day that we discussed the very basic moving average, but if you look at like the averages that I use, the indicators that I use, for example, these indicators are an exponential moving average. So this particular one isn't just a moving average. This one does give more weight to the more recent time frames. And then there's also the weighted moving average also that you can do. But and seriously, I use these because it's there's some real basic stuff that I use them for, because my style of trading is more on the based on the price action and movement and the geometry of it. But a lot of those have those weights. A lot of these averages and a lot of the indicators you can find have those weights and those things built into it. And you might have something that might be particularly unique. Take a look to see in those indicators if somebody has something similar. Maybe even look up multi-time frame weighted average or something.
Yeah. Okay. And then I've also been kind of noticing, like say for example, like you're doing a golden ratio fib based on the day chart. But when you're doing it on the day chart, you're actually looking over across multiple days, let's say a week or even a month. So it's ironic, I think, that a lot of the moving averages actually follow what you're doing with your golden ratio. It's just it's on a different chart, because when you do it on the day, it's actually more like as if it was done over the week on the moving average.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is that in trading, these things line up. I mean, you'll find confluence like that everywhere. You'll start. I mean, I'm glad that you noticed that, because the more of those types of things that make sense to you, the better. But yeah, it's almost like you have to find a resonance. Like in the case of the RSI on the that multi-frame RSI tool that I showed you. I mean, the goal is to find when they're resonating. Right here, you can see that they're resonating in the top area. But yeah, you'll find confluence and resonation throughout trading, and literally the more confluence, the more resonating, the more resonating you find, the more likely your trade makes a lot of sense. And yeah, it's kind of funny because trading is very entropic. There's a, if you were to think of it like almost on like a scientific level, it's very entropic. There's a million traders out there, and each one of them are making trades on completely different systems. All of their trend lines are going to be slightly different. All of their moving averages are going to be slightly different. And enough of that entropy creates the way that the market kind of reacts. And it's almost kind of funny, but the more people that are trading on a certain system, the more you're going to see that trading is kind of the way that it works, But yeah, you'll notice that there's a lot of confluence in the entropy.
Yeah, and then my last thought was I was thinking about writing a piece of code that compared the RSI when it went down into like to below the 5%, and then went above the 80%, and then compare giving like each individual coin a score, for lack of a better term, to see how often it would do that action.
Yeah. Okay. So mess around with that, because I'm telling you, the guy that in a lot of these Discord areas, he's kind of a legend. That's that Jolt guy, the guy that wrote that indicator. That was his thinking. He went on the weekly and he went to BTC, and he just analyzed the information between when they were at their highs to the lows, when it did those dips, what you could expect from it, and he used that information to kind of create his trading system. And I'm telling you, he just in this little bump right here, he made enough money to retire, and basically he said, I don't need to trade crypto anymore. I made my money. I bought a new house. Like.
Wow.
And that's kind of why he became a legend, because it was just like, we got about a year's worth of he started after me. He was, like I said, he worked in code, so he worked in like computer programming, and his mind was very into the kind of the engineering side of how price moves back and forth. And I think that just because his mind saw that, he was able to kind of quickly realize that using the RSI, you absolutely can, make predictions, and you can actually, see that if that there are, we joke around because we use the word anomaly a lot. But that if when the behavior becomes an anomaly, when it's a bad trade, or it's like, so there was a lot of kind of like engineering analytic kind of mindset that he brought to it, that he was able to very quickly learn and use to his advantage. Most people don't have it that way. Most people, get wrecked their first whole year.
Which I fully expect to happen to me, if not for long.
Yeah, call it a tuition, just like, make sure that whatever you can afford to lose in the next year, that's your tuition, put it towards trading, and consider it a lesson learned.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, my idea right now is just it's very one-dimensional. I want to feel out different ways that people currently do it, and see if I can start working up a like a score that I can use to start using for deciding if I want to get into a trade or not.
Yeah, do it. Like I said, I think I posted a video too, and if not, I'll look and post one about kind of how you check the boxes in order to make sure that it's more of a checklist than it is a score in the way that I do it or explain it. But I mean, a score would work really well too,
Yeah. I appreciate that.
No problem. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions you want. I'm going to go through Ape right now for a second because here's the kind of the situation I'm trying to figure out right now. Right now I've got Ape. I've got there's 400 in. I am in. Hold on, I gotta go back to my trading window here real quick. So I'm in. I've got my 400 in. I am in profit 450%, which means if I take half out now, it's still more value than my original investment, my original buy. Because let's see, what did I buy this? If I bought, I'm just going to kind of go through this. I mean, this will be good for me to go through in my head anyway. And Smokey, feel free to leave whenever and ask any questions along the way too.
I was actually say I got to dip out. It's been great. Thank you.
You got it, man. I'll see you soon. Okay, I'm just looking at it in my other window real quick because I'm gonna kind of go through how this is working. So 1.33 is where I entered. So altogether, that was an $11 right there. Okay. So I've already right now, if I were to sell it all, it's $50 and I'll get my $11 back too. So it's what, 40 something, $30 profit, $38 profit or whatever. If I were to sell half of it right now, I'll get $25. That's, more than double what I put into it. Right. And I'll still have $25 worth of the asset, and it could go up to whatever. Now, it's a good idea to do that because, like I said, now if I were to put my stop loss where I bought in, then I would be in profit $20, and that would be the end of it. But I still have different plans for this, and that's what. By the way, most people when they trade, they're kind of trading thinking that way. If I pocket $25 right now, the way that I look at it is that it helps me because I was planning on losing up to $155 here, down at here. So if I were to sell and have $25 here, it helps in that department, but it also gives me a little bit of liquidity to be able to make this purchase down here if it ever does get here, which this is where I actually think would probably be the best possible scenario to buy in. And so if price does get in here, that $25 that I pocket up here, I'll probably, put, I don't know, 5 to 10 of it here, right? Now, on a day trade, $50 right now, that's not a bad win on a day trade, by the way. I'd be very happy if this was just a day trade. And I moved on. But I look at it kind of more long term and do it a little bit differently. A lot of people, $50 is a absolutely a winning day trade, and I don't know, but yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so that being said, I do like to make sure that I do something like that, and that way I can again, this trade's a little bit different because I'm willing to lose. So if this was kind of a different like a little bit of a different trade, I would have taken the profit here, probably moved the stop loss to where I entered. And that way, I know that I'm in a position that no matter what, I've won, and I can pocket my $20 and trade another day, even wait for it to get down here again and trade and open the trade there. But I kind of want to do it this way, knowing because I've already done the math and I figured it up that way. So in this case, I probably will try. That's what I'm trying to find is where do I take my profit and let the runner go. Now this tool you can also see. Let's see. Hold on. I forgot how this works. It's such a pain in the ass because it's different than how I do it. Let's just say this was the value of this trade is what? It doesn't show you in okay, 408 at 0.133. So $532 is what this is worth at this point. I might get this wrong, by the way. This is it's been a while since I've done this, and I've never really understood this tool that well. I've always just done it in my head better. Yeah, that's not right, because it would have been more. It's worth more than that at that point. There's a way. I think it's because I've used the leverage, but because if we were to get to 4.33, that would be at that point. At this point, it'll be worth $1,732, and that's a reasonable target, you know. Okay, so but again, I think my point being still that I want to try and find my my exit just to make sure that I stay in profit. Okay, lots of bearish divergence. We have this, all of this right here, getting new higher highs all the way even up to here. But on the RSI, these peaks are getting smaller, even down to here. Let me take a look at this one. With all of these divergences, I mean, this is on the 15-minute. Now, okay, so when you're looking at divergences, you'll see how they. I think it's very important to see how they happen over time too, because the strongest divergences are going to be on the higher time frame. So, like if we have a divergence on the daily, which we do, this is the 3 to the 5, but we've also had that bounce off of the kind of golden ratio. I would expect it to test this line here too. So I would see a possibility for a little more downward motion. So the divergences are happening here. We don't quite get into oversold territory. It does bounce on the smaller time frame off of this support line right here from this movement. That's a good sign. 12 hours. It doesn't do it on the daily though. It's a little bit higher on the daily, but let's see. We can move that on the daily. Like that still checks out. That's good enough. So we are catching a little bit of support. those divergences that we were seeing over here aren't happening on too high of a time frame. So let's see what happens right here. We got, this is divergent though, because we have, so on the half hour, it's still divergent. It's different from that. Hourly, same, just a little bit. Two-hour, not so much. It is maybe on a technicality, but if we get a little bit of a spike on this from price action right here, that might take us higher than that. And if it does, then that's a good sign that maybe we're pulling away from this this part of the structure that we're in right here and might be moving upward. Just trying to look at a couple different scenarios to see what the odds are that it continues to go up, or if maybe I should just take profit and get some liquidity for that lower low that might come in. Well, there is some like I guess old wisdom in trading that might be a good idea, and that's it's never a bad time to take profit.
Yeah.
It's never a bad time to take profit.
It's just that mentality of you spend all the time on waiting for that deal to come through that you want it to go up. You don't want to waste all the time that you spent on it before leading up to the point. The problem that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's just it's looking like it might be just about ready to make a new high pretty soon. On the from where I bought in. But I'm glad that you guys got to be able to kind of see, because I remember I hope you remember me talking about what I was expecting it to do, and then being able to kind of watch now that I've entered and see how it moves and what I expect. And again, I still am counting on at some point it going back below and kind of retouching that lower level. So when that happens, right now I'm feeling good about it. It's the other way around. It's like you're in despair. You're like feeling, oh man, you're watching it like a hawk because you don't want any big movements. And even if it's just a little bit, it ends up being worth it in the long run, because hopefully, again, if this trade works out, we never come back and see those lows again. So a couple weeks of stomach ache on it are kind of worth it,
Yeah.
So, but that's all I have kind of planned for this. I'm gonna check a couple emails real quick, but I'll be back in here. I'll end the YouTube stream. But you can always see the chart live on. I try to keep it on Discord, and then on TradingStud.io, you can see my chart live. But yeah, I'll end the YouTube feed now. And I'll probably come back in a little bit and do some more technical analysis. And if someone's around, I'll do it live.
So only one question I had was on the exchange that you were on. At what point did they start actually liquidating? Like if they would start liquidating money.
So the way that they do it is, hold on, let me go to it real quick. Go to my trading window. There's a liquidation price on there. Let me go. I can just show you from the window real quick. And they calculate it for you.
Maximum that you can lose, but I thought like if it went down like 10%, that they would just basically liquidate your account right away. there a certain point that they just liquidate it, or?
Yeah, here I'll show you. Let me make sure I got the right one because it looks like I have two windows. So I think.
Yeah, that matches up.
Okay. So they build it in. They tell you that it's at 1.067, right?
Okay, I see.
But the calculation is you understand that if you go in with if you spend $50 on a trade, that there's going to be, depending on how much leverage you use, if it's 50x, it's going to and of course if in a cross I'm sorry, in an isolated trade, it's going to liquidate you as soon as that money has no way of being able to. As soon as they realize that there's no way that you're going to be able to continue that trade, then that's where it liquidates you, and that calculation's built in. But you can see it right there in the thing. Hold on one second.
You're showing your home screen.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, sorry about that. Thanks. Oh, that's why. Okay. Thank you. I did do the wrong one. I did have a window open. Yeah, that's no fun. Thank you for much appreciated. That's the one I meant to show.
Okay.
I'm just looking to see what what anybody saw. Oh, fun. Okay. Okay. Anyway, what was I going to say? The
liquidation.
Oh, the liquidation. Okay, so it builds it in right here to this area right here. So it calculates it for you. So if you had an isolated trade, if this was just isolated, it would liquidate, and this trade would be ended at 1.067. But since this is a cross trade, it is it will continue to kind of re-add to protect me until it gets to my stop loss, which my stop loss is.
Okay, I see.
It should be in here. Why is it not in here? I know 100% certainty that I did order it with a stop loss. But if not, I know for sure. Like here, I'll 1 point. Yeah, $163 is the max that I'm going to lose. Oh, I know why it's doing that. Okay, it's because remember how I was saying that right now I only have $100 in this account. I need to put in order to make sure that this is good, like it, which I'm going to do. I just, like I said, I wanted this trade, and I knew what I was up to with this one.
Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for sharing that with me, because that's okay. That's good to know. Yeah, that was the only question I had I felt like I needed to know.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna, but I'll be back and doing some more TA in a little bit, just because there's a bunch of more coins that I need to check out. I have been kind of lazy about doing my research on them. So I'll see you later.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Bye.